Dear students, and welcome back to the revision class of lesson 2, which is going to come for you for the pre-midterm examination. And I'm very sure that you might have all gone through the previous two videos which were related to lesson number 1 and lesson 5, which is again there in your pre-midterm portion. And I had given the short explanation of the chapter so that it can be in one video itself, the entire chapter. For the Lost Spring also, I would like to do the same. Lost Spring is the chapter which has been written by Annis Chung, and basically this chapter is about the stolen childhood. Now you might think that what does it mean by stolen childhood? Stolen childhood here means the children who are deprived in their childhood of the basic necessities which many other children they enjoy and they get in their life. In this Lost Spring, there are two characters who have been highlighted. One is Sahib A. Alam, who is a rag picker by profession, and basically he is the one who is the person who don't even know what does his name implies of. The second character is Mukesh, who is a bangle maker. Now, when we talk about Sahib, as I said, he's a rag picker. He is actually a resident of Dhaka, Bangladesh, and because of the storm and because of the destruction of the field and all, the entire family moved to Delhi in search of gold. In search of gold doesn't means gold, but it means livelihood, bread to live, to survive. And they reached over here and they got indulged in the rag picking work. Now, while he used to do the rag picking, one day the narrator or the author, she asked him that why he don't do anything else, and he replied, means Sahib replied, he knows nothing else. Just like that only, she asked a question that why he never goes to a school. For that he replied that there is no school in his neighborhood. So the narrator, just out of curiosity or just for namesake, she asked him that if she opens a school whether he would like to come, and he readily agreed. After a few days he went to her and asked whether her school has been built or not. She felt very ashamed and embarrassed that why she behaved like many others who are there in this world, making false promises to such kind of people like Sahib. Not only Sahib, but she also got friendly with many of the other children who used to do the rag picking work. And when she started asking questions to them, they gave her answers which were like not expected from them. Like once she asked about why they don't wear on any footwear, why they are always barefoot. They started giving numerous types of answers like mother has kept the slippers on the top, or otherwise they don't have the slippers. And then she said that while she had traveled along the various parts of the country, she found that generally people they walk about barefoot, and they give this the name of tradition, but she feels that it's just a lame excuse being given to cover up the never ending poverty that persists in our society, in our country. Even she narrated one story also about a man from Udupi who once spoke to her and said that in his childhood, he was a priest's son. In his childhood he wanted to have a pair of shoes, and every day before going to school on the way he used to pray to the goddess about the same. And then when our narrator visited that place again, she found that this time, after some 30 years, this time the priest's son was having shoes, school bag and all. And she started thinking that the time has changed for priest's son, but whether it has changed for many others or not. And when she got little friendly with the ragpickers, the ragpickers took her to their residence. They were actually living somewhere in Simapuri. It is there in Delhi itself, but though it is there in the periphery of Delhi, but still physically, though it is present in the map, but you can say that with regard to advancement and development, it was total zero. Now here around some 10,000 rat pickers were staying, and rat picking was their only way of earning bread. Their name was not there in the you can say that they don't have any identity. They were just getting the ration, and there was no ration card actually, but in the voter list their name was there definitely. And they were living in a very poor condition, bad sanitation, drainage system, no proper food. But when it was inquired, that the people over there, they said that identity doesn't matter if they can go to sleep with something in their stomach rather than starving, because survival is much more important than identity according to them. This is the condition of, I think, the maximum categories of that kind. And then there is a difference being shown in one of the paragraph, where the young ones, means the young ones like Sahib, the rat pickers, they sometimes get a rupee or a 10 rupee also in the garbage, and that seems to be like a wonder package for them. But for the elders, it is only an way of earning bread. And then further, it has been said that one day she found him standing near the fence of a club and watching two of the people in white uh, playing tennis. And he said that he too would love to play this game, but he knew very well that it was beyond his reach. But he was wearing on some faded white uh, shorts and a pair of shoes which was a total mismatch to his leg, and it was having a hole. Maybe someone who had not who was not in need of it, is just did not bother to have the shoes with the hole, so gave off to Sahib. Then one morning, our author found Sahib coming out from a milk booth, and when inquired, he said that he got a job, and he got the job in a tea stall which was at the other end of the road. And there he was earning 800 rupees per month plus the meals also. And then he carried the steel canister, and started walking off. So the author started thinking within herself that whether really this boy seems to be happy after getting the job of 800 rupees per month. No, the carefree look that was there when he used to carry the gunny bag over his shoulder with his friends, flying like free bird, collecting the rags, and enjoying his life as a child as well as working, that was totally gone from his face. And moreover, the canister which he was carrying was not his own; it was of his master. So that is how the life of Sahib changed totally. Now the next story is about Mukesh. Mukesh, you can say that he's in the story a strong character, because he somewhere came to the level of thinking that the narrator possessed for these people. And here, Mukesh, he wanted to become a motor mechanic, though he makes bangles. Now, Mukesh, he lives in Firozabad. I hope about Firozabad you might have come to know through the previous video, and as such also you might be knowing that it is a famous glass blowing industrial area of India, and maximum of the glass industries are located over here. And the very auspicious bangles, glass bangles, which the ladies of our land they put on, they are made in this place itself in Firozabad. And it has been said that Mukesh family was one among them who makes the glass bangles. Now, when we talk about the glass bangles, we are talking about glass. We are talking about the glass dust which is produced due to the mending of the glasses to turn them into a bangle. And for doing this, they need high heat, and also they were working in very dingy cells, no proper ventilation, and high furnaces, means big furnaces front of which high temperature they used to work. And because of that reason, many of these children, by the time they turn young and then to middle age to old age, they turn totally blind. And even it is very pathetic and very sad that this entire category might not even be knowing that the working of children below age of 14 or somewhat of that sort is totally illegal. And if any action is ever taken, around some 20,000 children, they will be out of this clutches. But then Mukesh took our author to his house, and he feels very proud that his house is been renovated, and they pass through very filthy narrow lanes and no proper drainage, and they reached front of a house, and he just you can say that he kicked open the gate, and then they went inside incompletely built up hatch and shack. And then one young lady was sitting down over there, and the moment she saw the author, she just smiled through her smoke filled eyes. And she is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother, and she had been busy cooking food for the meal of the house. And there were three people who were her responsibility in a very young age. They were Mukesh's husband, then after that Mukesh's father, and Mukesh brother, Mukesh father, and Mukesh himself. And when our author spoke to Mukesh's father, he said that he don't knew nothing other than this, so he just had passed on this profession to his children. When Mukesh's grandmother, she was asked about this working, she believed that it is their destiny, it is their karma, and it's a legacy that is being transferred from one generation to another, and it's something that has been given by God. It's written in the you can say the fate and all, no? So because of that reason, it is very difficult thing to change. And then in Firozabad, every house courtyard is filled with spirals of colorful bangles of varied colors. And then the young men, they take all these bangles in the cart to sell into the town. And preparation is done in dark hut, means no proper light, one oil lamp flickering up, and then the boys and girls sitting down with their elders, they make the bangles, and their eyes seems to be quite accustomed to darkness more than the light. Here one character Savita is also there. It's just to tell about the situation and way how they live. Savita, she's a very young girl, and she's wearing a pink colored frock, and she sits with by the side of the old lady, and she is soldering the pieces of glass, means she's welding up the pieces of glass, turning them into a circle. And maybe that little girl, she don't even know how sacred, how pious this bangle is for the ladies of our land. And maybe she might come to know about it the day when she herself will become a bride, and she will wear on a veil over her head, she will have henna in her hand, and definitely bangles in her wrist. But the pathetic or the saddest part is that when that elderly woman was asked about their living condition, she said that all these years, one time also she had never ate a proper meal. She never ate a proper meal. So just think over, what is the use of working if after all these years of hard work, hard toil, a person has to say that one time also the person has not have, but the person never had a proper meal. It means proper meal in the sense to fill the stomach properly. So this is the kind of life they were living actually. And then she always, our author, she just spoke to the people over there, the young people, that why don't you people just prepare a cooperative or something, because the young people also repeat the same thing what the older people have said, that is the money problem, and everything going into the bangle business and nothing else is known, etc., etc. And then when she asked about this, that why don't you people form a cooperative, they said that we cannot do so, because if we try to do that, we will be caught by the police and put in the jail, and then we will be like beaten up badly. So because of that reason, actually the thing is that the powerful and the rich people, they don't want these people to grow up, because if they grow up, on whom they will show their power. So because of that reason, these people, they can only speak about poverty, about greed, about injustice, but they cannot stand up. And moreover, years of hard work had somewhere made their mind totally senseless to think something else and or something creative or new for themselves. When our author heard all these things, she thought that uh, this Firozabad seems to be divided into two worlds. One world is of definitely these bangle makers who are poor and who think that they are born in the family of bangle makers, so they cannot think of anything else. It's their fate. And the second category is that of those rich people, in which many people are coming, like the middlemen means the brokers, bicholia bolte हैं हम लोग जिनको दलाल बोलते हैं. And then the bureaucrats are there, then the police people are there, the politicians are there. So all these kind of people, they come in this second category, and this second category are is so very powerful that they put the baggage of responsibility over the shoulder of young people when they are so small, that by the time they turn young and they reach to their father's age, they just get used to it, and they don't think of anything else. Because for thinking, you need growing up, you need to progress, and progress and growing up was not a part of their life. But Mukesh was something different, and that's what author liked about Mukesh. That is, like how author wanted them to think something different. Mukesh was that something different. He wanted to become the motor mechanic, and when he was inquired that garage is far, he is ready to go till there, and he wants to learn being a motor mechanic. So this is how the life of Sahib, whose name is Sahib e Alam, and it is really very surprising that he himself might not be knowing that Sahib e Alam means the Lord of the Universe, and there he was picking up the rags, though he got the job, but he don't seem to be very happy. On the other place, Mukesh, who is a bangle maker, wants to do something other than bangle making, like becoming a motor mechanic. So these are the dreams of two of the children who have lost, or whose childhood is been stolen, or they are the lost springs. So my dear students, go through each and every video, and especially read your lesson carefully, because you cannot simply rely on the questions which were discussed or the extra questions that I had given to you people regarding the chapter. You have to be very thorough with the chapter, because as been informed earlier by me, the question paper will be in MCQ pattern. So because of that reason, you people have to be very careful with the context of the story. So I will be putting up a mock test for you people, and it's just a general practice, and good luck for your forthcoming examination, and I hope everything goes off well, and very soon we people will be in person front of each other. Till then, goodbye, and take care.